So for all people at the moment in the call, we expect about 20 resellers to participate in this webinar. It's the second in a continuing series of webinars around Cloud Paks. The first one was a general overview of all the different flavors that IBM has in portfolio. Today, it will be a general session about IBM Cloud Pak for data. And please watch out for future sessions because we have many more webinars planned around different Cloud Paks like automation, multi-cloud management, integration, and so forth. We also organize technical sessions, so whenever you see those invitations flying by, please don't hesitate also to introduce your technical people to attend these webinars. Today we have 3 speakers. The first one will be Eduardo Angulo of IBM, and he will be presenting the details about the Cloud Pak for data, being the journey to AI, and the capabilities within the Cloud Pak for data. Secondly, we have people from Tech Data UK joining us to tell a little bit more about the Cloud Pak for data system that Tech Data has installed in the UK, and which is also available for you, for the resellers in Belgium and Luxembourg, to make advantage of. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat box and we will handle them after the session has ended. I would like now to give the word to Eduardo for the first presentation.
Thank you, Dirk. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Eduardo Angulo, and I am the partner ecosystem leader for information architecture and for Cloud Pak for data. I would like to first apologize in advance for any barking dog or noisy kid that may get in the background. I've tried myself as hard as possible to isolate, but as you know, in these days, it's difficult as we're working from home. Second, as Dirk said, I will be presenting, but you can already ask any questions in the chat, and we'll cover those in the at the end of the session. What we're going to see today is we'll make a short summary of the previous session, meaning what are the Cloud Paks and why IBM has invested and is prioritizing Cloud Paks in its strategy. I'll cover then Cloud Pak for data. So what is it, functionalities, use cases, differentiation, and then we'll see licensing and pricing. So how we package, license, and price Cloud Pak for data. And I'll finalize my part of the presentation with some links to resources that could be useful to you. So there we go. Cloud Paks. In order to understand why IBM is so strongly pushing the Cloud Paks, we need to understand the changes that have taken place in the market recently. Over the past decade, we've seen that cloud has become super important to nearly every digital transformation strategy. So cloud allows companies to access the latest technologies like Internet of Things, like high performance computing, blockchain, and virtually from any vendor. And these technologies have empowered companies to reimagine business processes, ecosystems. So it's basically driving innovation. And we see that cloud also allows companies to access more sources of data. Okay, plus they can analyze that data in many different ways. And also that new algorithms, new machine learning and artificial intelligence are driving new insights that enable more personalized client experience, by extending the value of existing investments. Yet, even with this ability to source more innovation and data from more and more places, what we see is that only 20% of the enterprise workloads have moved to the cloud. And the question is why? Well, we see here that there are three main inhibitors that are not facilitating the companies to move their workloads to the cloud. The first one is that each company, each organizations have their own unique workload and data needs, and that requires choice in terms of compliance, security, and location. At the same time, we see that every company are using more and more clouds from more and more vendors. And that is increasingly complex to manage, and it's hard to connect across different clouds and within the existing data center. And third, but not least, we see that there is a technology generation gap, both in terms of infrastructure, so the technology itself, but also in terms of skills of the people that manage that technology. And it's getting increasingly hard to broker the cloud native and traditional technologies. Cloud Paks is the IBM solution to these challenges. With Cloud Paks, we want to provide a faster and more secure way to move our customers' core business applications to any cloud. And we do this through enterprise-ready containerized software solutions. So here you have the topology of a Cloud Pak. First of all, it runs anywhere. So it runs on-premise, it runs on any cloud, the IBM Cloud, Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google. It runs on the edge, private clouds. It runs even on systems. And specifically for Cloud Pak for Data, you will know that there is a system edition that I will be talking about. On top of any of those environments, any Cloud Pak is run on a container platform and operational services, which is Red Hat OpenShift. Okay, and on top of Red Hat OpenShift, we have the containerized software. This means that Cloud Paks offer complete yet simple access to application and data and AI services that are fully modular and are easy to consume. And they are fully certified. Okay, the full stack is certified, supported, and it enjoys security, compliance, and version compatibility. IBM has up to date developed 6 Cloud Paks. Cloud Pak for applications, to build, deploy, and run applications. Cloud Pak for data, which I will be talking about in the next minutes. Cloud Pak for integration, to integrate applications, to integrate data, cloud services, and APIs. Cloud Pak for automation, to transform business processes, decisions, and content. Cloud Pak for multi-cloud management, which tackles one of the challenges our customers have with so many clouds and so many vendors. And the last one to be announced was Cloud Pak for security, which provides security at enterprise level. As said before, all of these Cloud Paks are based on Red Hat OpenShift and containerized IBM software and run anywhere, whether it is on public cloud, private cloud, or on premises. Let's go now into the IBM Cloud Pak for Data. And in order, again, to understand why we have developed Cloud Pak for Data, we need to understand how the market trends are moving. We all know that data is the foundation for businesses to drive smarter decisions. In other words, data is what fuels digital transformation. The challenge we see out there in the market is that while 90% of business leaders say that improving data is a top priority, only 15% of them are actually getting what they need from the data. So in other words, companies are sitting in a wealth of data, but they are not getting the value out of it. And this is where AI, artificial intelligence, comes in. As you can see in this chart, 85% of companies see artificial intelligence as a strategic opportunity to unlock the business value that is hidden in the data. And we see that most organizations are somewhere in the middle of this journey to AI, right? The market is moving from more operational cost reduction and modernization phases into insight-driven self-service analytics and transformational business models. The key is to help our customers on this journey. First, we need to determine where they are, what is their current state, and then their next step is to help them to implement a strategy to reach the future state, a state in which they can unlock the true value of their data. Now, the real challenge is that many enterprises, many companies only have 20% of the data either accessible, trusted, or is being analyzed. So 80% of the data is not really accessible. And the reality is that, as MIT Sloan says, you can have a very good AI algorithm. So, you can have the most sophisticated AI algorithm, but it will not overcome bad quality data or lack of data. So in other words, garbage in, garbage out. You need to have a data architecture that ensures that you collect data appropriately and you prepare data appropriately so that it is consumed effectively by our AI models. IBM has come up with a prescriptive approach to accelerate customers' journey to AI. Probably you've seen this chart before. This is what we call the AI ladder. The AI ladder has a number of steps that help our customers be effective in leveraging artificial intelligence to unlock the hidden value of data. We start with the collect. Basically, collect means establishing a strong foundation of data, making it simple and accessible regardless of where data resides. Since data used in artificial intelligence is often very dynamic and very fluid, and it's located anywhere, data virtualization is critical for many customers, and this is one of the key functionalities that we need. Then we have the organize rung of the AI ladder. It's all about creating a trusted business-ready analytics foundation that ensure that our customers' data is ready for AI. Because just because you can access your data doesn't mean that it's prepared for the artificial intelligence use cases. Bad data is really paralyzing to AI, as we saw in the previous slide. So the clients, our clients must integrate, must clean, must catalog, and must govern the full life cycle of their data in order to make it ready for AI. Then we have analyze. Once you are prepared to apply advanced analytics and AI models, we need to provide business and planning analytic capability that are key for the success with AI. Okay, so at this stage of the AI ladder, it's all about building, deploying, and managing AI models with an integrated portfolio of technology. In other words, we need to scale insights with artificial intelligence everywhere. And finally, infuse. Okay, many businesses create highly useful AI models, but then encounter challenges in operationalizing them to get real business value. So this rung of the AI ladder infuses AI to achieve trust and transparency in model recommended decisions, decision explicability, bias detection, decision audits, and so on. And on top of all these, or under, I would say better, under all of these, we have the Modernize rung of the AI ladder, which, given the dynamic nature of AI, data needs a highly elastic and extensible multi-cloud infrastructure that can put together and unify all these capabilities that we've mentioned in the rungs of the AI ladder under a fully governed team platform. Okay. For this reason, IBM has come up with the Cloud Pak for Data. So the Cloud Pak for Data is the way to execute the AI ladder. So as any other Cloud Pak, you first pick your environment, whether you want to run this on-premise or private or private cloud. You then have OpenShift running, containerizing your services. And then you have the a pre-integrated and modular data platform, which helps you to implement the steps of the AI ladder: collect, organize, analyze, infuse, and which is complemented by a menu of additional services, both IBM and third parties. If we take a closer look at the services that are within Cloud Pak for Data, we see that in Collect, we have data virtualization, which helps accessing data from different sources without the need to duplicate or copy data. And this service with the latest version 3.0, it includes also lineage and masking to be able to protect the information. We have data warehousing, we have streaming services, we have data source ingestion, and many other services that help our customers to effectively collect data and make it simple and accessible to the company. In the next step, in the next rung of the AI ladder, organized data, we have a menu of services that allow companies to catalog, refine data, and improve the quality of data. I would like to highlight something which is, in my opinion, relevant, is the open source management. As we know, as we all know, the data scientists and other data citizens are very keen on using open source technology in order to manage, build, manage, and deploy AI models, data science model. Well, this functionality allows to the company to keep a control over the technology that's being used to avoid shadow IT and the challenges and risks that could that this technology could bring into the company. Okay, and then we have the analyzed data rung of the AI ladder, and the services included here are all those related to building AI models, to deploying AI models, and to manage those AI models, including, as I mentioned earlier, bias detection, explainability, trust. It also includes some auto AI, what we call automatic machine learning, deep learning models, which help data scientists to refine their AI models using AI. So it's AI helping AI. We have dashboards, which we have model risk management. All these services, as I said, are complemented. First, they are supported by a layer, which you can see on the bottom, of administration, monitoring services of OpenShift. You can see in green that the new version, Cloud Pak for Data 3.0, will now include also OpenShift 4.3. There will be two alternatives. You can continue with OpenShift 3.1, or you can use the new OpenShift 4.3. And on top, you can see the that additional to the base services and the base capabilities of Cloud Pak for Data, there are a number of extensions, IBM extensions and third-party extensions. This is one of the strengths of Cloud Pak for Data, the capability to interconnect and interoperate with not only, of course, IBM add-ons or IBM extensions, but also third-party extensions. And here you can see some of them. Okay, we have in all of the areas of the AI ladder, in the collect, in the govern, in the analyze, we have solutions that complement those that exist in the base capabilities. We have PostgreSQL, we have MongoDB, Actifio with the virtual data pipeline capabilities. We have storage solutions like Portworx and NetApp, and industry or industry solutions like Noise, which is a set of development APIs in the banking space. So these are very interesting third-party additional capabilities or expanded capabilities that can work with Cloud Pak for Data, increasing the value of the base platform. I would also like to present the Cloud Pak for Data system. As I said at the beginning, Cloud Pak for Data can run anywhere, and this is one of the alternatives. This is not an appliance, it's an hyperconverged system. And the difference between an appliance and an hyperconverged system is that an appliance is purchased in whatever fashion it may be, but it cannot grow. If you need more capability, you have to buy a new appliance. On the other side, a hyperconverged system, it combines storage, compute, networking, and software into a single system, but you can scale the capability. Okay, so Cloud Pak for Data system can be scaled up to match the needs of basically any customer. Okay, you can deploy a private cloud basically within a week. One of the most interesting capabilities of the IBM Cloud Pak for Data system is the Netezza performance server. Okay, so one of the you can find the Cloud Pak for Data system you can buy with the base and then with extensions, right? And one of the extension is Netezza performance server, which basically is the how would I say this? Is the traditional Netezza, but on steroids. Okay, it's much more powerful. It's fully 100% compatible with Netezza and Pure Data System for Analytics offerings. So with a simple command, sorry, with a single command, you can migrate from one to the other. But given that it is on Cloud Pak for Data, customers that buy Netezza Performance Server can leverage all of the data and AI capabilities existing in Cloud Pak for Data. So they will be able to more easily collect information and data that is in the Netezza Performance Server. They will be more easily able to govern that data and build, deploy, and manage AI models that are using that information. So it's really, as one of my colleagues, Ronnie Kirkhoff, likes to say, it's Netezza on steroids. When we talk about what is unique about Cloud Pak for Data, I like first to start with a comparison, and I like to compare Cloud Pak for Data with an iPhone, with a smartphone, right? Why? Because a smartphone, it brings a platform that provides you with base services like the phone, camera, agenda, mail, and many others. But also you can, you have an app store where you can download many different applications that can improve the value of the smartphone. And these applications may be of the vendor that has sold to you the smartphone, or can be from any third party. In a way, this is very similar to Cloud Pak for Data. Cloud Pak for Data is highly elastic and extensible, and it provides users with data and AI services from IBM and from third parties. And it reduces the time to value and risk of deployment with pre-integrated services. And this specific point is something that makes the technical people not like the example of the smartphone. Why? Because in the smartphone, we see that you can download many services, but not necessarily all of them are pre-integrated. While in Cloud Pak for Data, all of the different services, whether they are in the base or they are extended services by IBM or by a third party, they are all pre-integrated and tested to work together, okay? So to the elasticity and flexibility of the services, we also have the flexibility of deployment. So Cloud Pak for Data runs on premises, as I said, on any cloud, and as a hyper-converged system, which is something that not all of our competitors can say. Of course, all these values help customers to address some of the key challenges of moving workloads to the cloud and managing data and extracting value out of the data. And therefore, they can focus on the high added value areas because Cloud Pak for Data will help them with the work with hard work. Some other unique value from Cloud Pak for Data is that it helps you to protect the investment. Okay, so you don't really need to wrap and replace. All of the applications and infrastructure and middleware that you have already still work with Cloud Pak for Data, either because they can interconnect with Cloud Pak for Data or because you can eventually use within Cloud Pak for Data. So, this is something that our customers need to take. It's not a need to take into consideration. It's not a rip and replace that we're talking here, but setting the infrastructure, the platform that will help you govern data across the life cycle and leverage AI to get the insights out of that data. Okay, as we saw, it has flexibility, it provides flexibility in terms of capability, also in terms of flexibility, in terms of deployment. And finally, it's future-proof. So, it leverages open source, open technology, and as new standards and capabilities emerge, you will be able to use them on Cloud Pak for Data. So it avoids the lock-in that some existing solutions and existing clouds force you to assume. Okay. Let me now show you a couple of use cases, and what we've selected here is a number of top resonating use cases that we've seen partners selling throughout the year and a half that we've already had Cloud Pak for Data in the market. Virtualization, data monetization through data governance, and operationalization of data science and AI. Okay, let's start with virtualization. What we see here is customers that need, for whatever reason, in this case, we had a company that wanted to get better insights into the customer behavior because they wanted to understand how to better target merchandise, how to better target sales and promotions in order to provide the customers with an exceptional customer experience. But whatever the objective it may be, many customers have the need to access data which is not sitting in one single place. So they need to create a virtual data lake to query multiple data sources in a fast and easy way without duplicating the data is critical. And this is one of the use cases that most customers are purchasing Cloud Pak for Data for, to securely access data wherever it lives and in any format to make it ready for artificial intelligence. In the links that you can see in this webpage, you have a couple of videos that talk a little bit more about virtualization. A second use case that we see very often is the data governance, the capability to be able to accelerate data monetization through data governance and privacy. In this case, we have a customer who needed to reduce the cost of data scientists in the time they spent discovering and accessing and preparing the data. data scientists are supposedly assigned the role of creating AI models, not discovering, accessing, and preparing data. But unfortunately, 80% of the time that data scientists spend is on discovering, accessing, and preparing data, not on building the AI models. Well, with Cloud Pak for Data, you can catalog, you can refine, and you can improve the quality of data to make it ready for the data scientists to use and consume. Okay, so in this case, customers chose Cloud Pak for Data to better catalog, understand, and govern data, to provide it that data ready to their data scientists. Again, you have a link here to a video which can give you a little bit more information about this use case. And finally, we're talking about a third case, which is operationalizing data science and AI. And here we have the case of a transportation company that needed to reduce their operating expenses, and they chose to do so by improving predictive maintenance of their fleet. Okay, so they had a requirement. They had to, they wanted to build, deploy, and manage AI models faster with open source tools, which, as I mentioned earlier, something that Cloud Pak for Data helps you manage. With data pre-processing, with automated machine learning and deep learning model selection, and at the same time to detect any bias and to be able to provide explainability to the decisions taken, and to detect drift to make sure that the models were effective throughout time. Okay, so this is one of the most seen use cases, which basically talks about building, deploying, and managing machine learning, deep learning models that scale throughout the organization. Okay, so we've seen why Cloud Pak for Data. What are the capabilities of Cloud Pak for Data? Some of the differentiators versus other solutions out there. We've seen some use cases. Let's see now how do we license and price Cloud Pak for Data. You've seen this chart. You can see that there are services that are provided in the base and services that are additional or extended services. This chart shows a little bit better. In blue, we have the base capabilities, those that are provided by default when you buy Cloud Pak for Data. And here you have some of the capabilities that I have talked about: data virtualizations, data warehousing, cataloging, data quality, Watson Studio to manage the AI models. And then in green, you have the extended capabilities. Okay, extended capabilities that are called cartridges or extensions. So here you have extensions like DB2, Data Stage, or the more related to AI like Watson Assistant, Watson Discovery. Okay, now how do we package these capabilities? Let's start first by understanding packaging, and then we'll talk about licensing. Okay, so we package these capabilities, the base capabilities, the capabilities in the blue area that I showed before. We package them in 4 editions: 3 software editions and 1 hardware edition. The software editions are the standard edition, which was called Cloud Native. Now it's called Standard. We are renaming it in version 3, which allows a maximum of 64 BPCs. The BPC is the measure, the computing power measure on which we will price Cloud Pak for Data. Okay. This standard edition is 50% of the enterprise edition, and therefore it's given its how it works, it's good for small deployments or for entry points, and then you can grow. You can grow by trading up to an enterprise edition or to a maximum of 64 BPCs in if the customer is as much as they need. The use cases that we've seen before range from 22 BPCs to 40 BPCs. So any of those three use cases in a small scenario, obviously we're not talking about super big corporations, in a small scenario could be run within the standard edition. As the need for increased capability grows, we could go into enterprise edition, which has exactly the same. So we are talking about 50% in difference in price, but in terms of capability, it's exactly the same. The only limit is the 64 BPCs limit of the standard edition. The enterprise edition has no limit. Then we have the non-production enterprise edition, which, as the name says, is for non-production environments, which has the similar price to the standard edition. It's 50% of the enterprise. And then we have the Cloud Pak for Data system, which I've already talked about. It comes in a small or large storage option, and it's made out of a starter module and then expansion modules. If you remember, I mentioned that the Netezza module is an expansion module to the system, okay? So this is how we package the base services. How do we package the extended services? Well, we package them in cartridges. And what is a cartridge? A cartridge is made out of Red Hat OpenShift, Cloud Pak for Data, and then the services that are that have been contracted. So if I buy a DB2 cartridge, I will be able to run DB2 on Cloud Pak for Data and OpenShift. So in itself, it's a mini Cloud Pak for Data where you can run the service that you have purchased. Do you need Cloud Pak for Data in addition to a cartridge? No, you don't, unless you want to run additional workloads in that Cloud Pak for Data. But if what you want to run is DB2 and you have enough with the cartridge, no need to purchase Cloud Pak for Data separately. Now, something that we need to take into consideration is that there are two types of cartridges. There are single entitlement cartridges and dual entitlement cartridges. The single entitlement cartridges are those in which you can use the Cloud Pak for Data just to run the service you've purchased. And this is the case of Watson Discovery, Watson Assistant, or any of the other single entitlement cartridges that you can see over here. On the other hand, the dual entitlement cartridges, in the dual entitlement cartridges, you can use them to run, you can use Cloud Pak for Data to run the service that you have contracted, DB2, data stage, whatever it is, but you can also use that capability, Cloud Pak for Data, to run any of the base services. Data virtualization, data cataloging, AI model management, whatever it is, okay? So this is very important specifically for customers that have one of our products that could lead to a dual entitlement cartridge like DB2, data stage, information server, Watson Studio, so on. I mean, this provide, as we will see later in the presentation, with a very good trade-up opportunity to use the capabilities of Cloud Pak for Data. Here is a very good graphic explanation of single entitlement and dual entitlement, okay? You can see that, you know, in the single entitlement, the Red Hat and Cloud Pak for Data can only be used with the service that has been purchased. So in this case, Watson Assistant. While in the other scenario, in the dual entitlement scenario, you can use the cartridge to containerize the service that you ask for, DB2 in this case, or you can continue, or you can run DB2 in a standalone out of Cloud Pak for Data and use Cloud Pak for Data to run any of the services included in the base. As I said before, data virtualization, data cataloging, and so on, okay? This is a picture of the trade-ups. Currently, we can only trade up from an existing standalone product to a cartridge. We are working on making other capabilities in the base provide trade-up possibilities. But at this point in time, if you are using a data stage or information server or DB2 or any of the other products, you can trade up to Cloud Pak for Data cartridge. Let me show you an example of a trade up to a dual entitlement cartridge, okay? So I am a customer that has 7,000 PVUs of data stage, okay? And you know, I have purchased a Cloud Pak for Data cartridge with an equivalent computing power as the one I had in data stage. So the equivalence is 1 VPC equals 70 PVUs, or 70 PVUs are equivalent to 1 VPC. So therefore, I bought 100 VPCs of Cloud Pak for Data. Just by purchasing this cartridge, I have the possibility to continue using my data stage standalone and use the 100 VPCs of Cloud Pak for Data for any service that is provided with the base. Data virtualization, data warehousing, data cataloging, or anything else. Once I decide to start moving and containerizing data stage, I can do it in different phases. I can do it all together, or I can start by using 40 VPCs of Cloud Pak for Data in a containerized environment. Okay, so I have 40 VPCs of data stage in Cloud Pak for Data. I maintain 4,200 PVUs on standalone. So that allows me to continue using 60 VPCs of Cloud Pak for Data for anything that I can do with the services included in the base. And finally, I reached the fourth scenario, which is the one I bought this cartridge for, which is to containerize my full data stage workloads by using the 100 VPCs that I bought in Cloud Pak for Data. Okay, this path and the use of services provided in the base is only possible with dual entitlement cartridges. With a single entitlement cartridge, I would be in the first scenario to the left, or in the fourth scenario to the right, but I would not be able to go through the two middle scenarios in which I am leveraging Cloud Pak for Data capabilities provided in the base. Okay, now we've seen how we package the base capabilities in different editions. We've seen how we package the extended capabilities in cartridges. Now, let's see how we license any of those capabilities, whether editions or cartridges. We license them in three ways. We have the perpetual licenses, which is the one that we use more often. Okay, the ones that we know. They provide license plus 1 year SNS. Okay, we have the monthly licenses, which are for a usually for short periods of time. These are usually used for POCs or for projects that are short in time. And then we have the new committed term licenses, which are also temporary licenses for a committed term. Usually no, a minimum of 12 months. Okay, so you can do 12 months commitment or upwards. Okay, so these are the three different types of licenses. What are the benefits of upgrading? I should have talked about this slide a little bit earlier. Well, here you have some of the benefits of upgrading from a standalone offering to a Cloud Pak offering. First, you continue having the standalone offering if you want to, but now you also have the new capabilities and the containerized middleware provided in Cloud Pak for Data. Okay, it's based on a Red Hat cloud platform and solution that allows you to containerize and be able to deploy your workloads wherever you think it's more appropriate. We've talked about the license flexibility that is provided, but it also provides flexibility in terms of a model of consumption. What are the services that you want to consume? It offers price protection for the team, if only in prepaid scenarios. And again, full stack certification, including open source. So the pre-integration and the certification of the full stack is critical to make sure that you accelerate the time to value. Okay. I also wanted to talk about the Cloud Pak for Configurator, Cloud Pak for Data Configurator, which provides the capability to configure and size either the software or the system, and within the software also the trade-offs. It's very easy to use. It's based on the AI ladder model, and it will soon be available to BP. So as soon as it is available, this is being used internally by IBMers. So if you need help with configuring a solution, Cloud Pak for Data solution, or a trade app from any existing install base, you can request your PSM or IBM seller to support, because they do have access. Hopefully, you will very soon have access to this tool. Okay, you know, here is a short summary of how you use the data virtual configurator to size and price the use cases. So we see that this virtualization solution requires data virtualization on top of the minimum 6 VPCs provided in order to be able to manage the platform. Okay, so a virtualization solution in a small scenario, so this would be a good entry point for many customers, requires 22 VPCs. If we and this would be the description of what a small scenario would be. So the tool helps you to decide what is the best scenario by providing additional information on each of them. And if we want to, you know, once we have the number of VPCs, what we need to understand is, okay, what is the edition that is most appropriate for me? In this case, we have 22 VPCs. This looks like an entry case. It does not require more than 64, so we could very well use the standard edition, okay? And once we have chosen which edition to use, then we need to decide which is the licensing model which is most appropriate to our customer. Is it a perpetual license or is it a committed term license? Well, in this case, you can see that if we chose a committed term license within the standard edition, we would be talking about 81K. This would be the price, list price of the first year for this virtualization solution, which if you apply a discount, and right now we have a sales play going on for customers in the growth segment that allow you know, a very, very reasonable discount, this would be a very affordable price. Okay, if we go to the other two use cases, we can see that you know, you have Watson Knowledge Catalog on top of the base services, which provides 32 VPCs. And if we go to the third model, the third use case, you can see you need Jupyter Notebook, you need Watson Studio Local, you need Watson Machine Learning. On top of the base of the managing capabilities, this includes a total of 40 VPCs. Still, you know, a very affordable model for most companies. Okay, and with this, you know, I complete the licensing and pricing part of the presentation. In the backup of this presentation, you will have some interesting links to discover Cloud Pak for Data. So visit the demo site if you want to get further familiarized with Cloud Pak for Data. If you're already familiarized with it and you want to, you know, understand better how to sell it, well, you have Seismic, where you have sales assets, you have the plays, you have the kits, client presentations, and a lot of other very useful information and assets to position Cloud Pak for Data in your customers. If you want to learn more about Cloud Pak for Data, you have Skills Gateway, which offers structured learning on Cloud Pak for Data. And I would like to highlight here the new learning path to certification. As you know, we have a certification for Cloud Pak for Data, which is Solution Architect, Cloud Pak for Data Solution Architect. We have recently announced a learning path that helps anybody who wants to certify to acquire the needed skills to be successful in passing the certification exam. Okay. If you want to market IBM Cloud Pak for Data, there's a wealth of resources, partners, the event in a box. You have My Digital Marketing to run digital campaigns. You have infographic. You have co-marketing funds, which I presume you're all familiar with. And then this is another links that I would suggest that you visit, Partner World Cloud Pak for Data website, IBM.com, Cloud Pak for Data website. You have the data and AI IBM events being run in the different countries, so that you can take a look too. And with this, I'm done with my part of the presentation, and I will now want to pass the word to Chris Garvey, who is going to talk about the Cloud Pak for Data system hosted at Tech Data. Chris?
Thanks, Eduardo. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Chris Garvey. I'm a data and analytics solution architect in the Europe or EMEA Tech Data team. I also work closely with Paul Archer, who can't join the call today. So my role is to cover the technical aspects of the system we have available, and Paul's role is to cover the more commercial aspects. We have kindly from IBM, we have a loan system available from IBM, which is a Cloud Pak for Data base +2 system. The system is physically located in the UK, but is available for business partners to use across the EMEA region remotely at no cost to the business partner, as long as obviously the business partner is aligned to Tech Data. So the system includes, as you can see from the picture, so it's a base +2 system. So that means it includes Cloud Pak for Data and the +2 expansion, which means it has the ability to demonstrate Netezza performance server. Tech Data have had the system for around 6 months now. And as you can see from the picture there on the right-hand side, we have a close network of both Tech Data and IBM resources available that you can work with if you have issues or if you want to learn more around Cloud Pak for Data. You know, these consist of European resources such as Eduardo, and also worldwide resources and development resources, which if you have specific requirements, we can help you find the right person. Next slide, please, Eduardo. Okay, so the system that we have available has a number of preloaded assets on it, which you can use as a business partner to enable yourself internally or allow you to take the messaging out to your end customers. So the system can be used to build your own assets. It can be used to develop use cases that I'll come on to in a second. And it can also be used to do proof of technologies or proof of concepts with your end customers. So we don't have all the services loaded onto the platform, but we can certainly look at additional services as required. But at present, we have the vast majority of the base services that Eduardo outlined earlier in his presentation. So we have Jupyter notebooks to deal with data science workload, Watson machine learning, Watson Studio, data virtualization to cover collecting the data into the platform, Watson open scale, and can you just go back one slide, Eduardo? Sorry. And also Watson catalog. So these services we've used to deploy some of some demos into the environment, and these are called industry accelerators. And as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, they cover a variety of use cases such as customer attrition, customer segmentation, they cover customer 360-degree view, healthcare, predictive maintenance. Now these demos can be used to show some of the main capabilities in Cloud Pak for Data, but can also be taken, and as a business partner, you can use these to be tailored to create your own use case that's more specific to your end customer. We also have the ability, and we have a demo that shows migrating workload from Netezza PDA into IBM Performance Server, or what's now been called IBM Netezza Performance Server. It's been recently migrated, so we can show how easy it is to migrate workload into Netezza Performance Server with your end customers, if that's something that's of interest. So as you can see, there are a range of assets already on the system. You can also get access to the system and develop your own material if required. It's structured in such a way that the business partner, that only you as your business partner can see your projects, so you can work in isolation of other business partners and build your own collateral. Can we just go on to the next slide, please? Okay, so in terms of if you're interested in getting onto the system, and just to re-emphasize, the system is at no cost to any tech data business partners. So the first stage in that is that you need to be identified as a business partner and engaged. And I'd say by you joining the call today, you know, that qualifies that you have an interest in Cloud Pak for data. The next stage is that your local tech data team would organise an exploratory call with myself and Paul Archer, where we would understand what you were looking to achieve by getting on the system. So this could be you've got a live opportunity, you want to do a proof of concept or proof of technology, you're interested in developing a use case for a particular market you have of interest, or it could be that that you just want to learn more about Cloud Pak for data. We then ask you to complete a short questionnaire that would explain what you're looking to use the system for, if you've got any opportunities, just some very high level information on the opportunity. And we then get you access to the system, which would be via remote VPN, and then you'd have your own access to the system where you could do what you seem fit. All we'd ask is that at regular intervals that you'd contact Tech Data, and we just have a discussion around how you're using the system and how your particular aims are progressing. As applicable, then we can then also link you into other resources. So that might be, get support from the Tech Data EMEA team, or it might be getting someone local in IBM in country or at a European level within IBM to help you with whatever you're trying to achieve with the platform, if you need a bit of support. Next slide, please, Eduardo. Okay, so just to emphasize again, if you want to get access to the system, please, in the first case, reach out to your in-country Tech Data BDM, so that may be Dirk or Manuel. They will then get in contact with myself or Paul Archer, and we can organise an exploratory call. We've been running a number of enablement and webinar sessions from a European perspective, and these can also all be accessed from the link at the bottom of the screen there that I'm sure Dirk will share with you post this session. We also have, on the 20th of May, we have a deep dive into Cloud Pak for data and exploring what's a knowledge catalogue. So if you're interested in that, please contact myself or Dirk or Manuel, and we can get you added to that webinar for the 20th of May if you're interested in what's the knowledge catalogue. And that concludes what I wanted to say today. Dirk, I'll just pass back to yourself just to wrap up.
Thank you very much, Paul, for explaining this. Thank you very much, Eduardo, for your presentation. Let's see if some people have any questions. If you have questions, you can raise your hand, or you can put them into the chat box, as some of you have done. But I think it's much easier to raise your hand, and I will then unmute you. If there are no further questions, then I suppose everything has been clearly explained. Should you have questions later on, please get in touch with myself or with Manu. I will certainly pass on the invitations for the upcoming webinars that Chris talked about. I see that there are no more people wanting to ask questions. So I suppose we can close the webinar. The presentation will be forwarded to each of the attendants in the coming days. So let me thank again Eduardo and Paul for supporting us here in the Benelux area. with your knowledge around Cloud Pak for data.
Thank you, Dirk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dirk.
Yeah.
Bye.
So bye to everyone. See you in our next sessions. The invitations will be in your mailbox very soon.